My 24-year-old fiancé, who is 22, is an angel that walks our earth. She is this despite having a complicated family. Her dad was an awful man who started drinking excessively and took his rage out on my fiancé, physically and mentally. This is not helped by her sister, who is 25 and has a high-functioning level of autism, but I believe she has used it as an opportunity to be attention-seeking and cruel, excusing it by saying, well, autistic people can't help but tell the truth. As for me, I am from Russia. I moved here when I was 15 and I discovered the gym culture here, which I really enjoy. I used to be tall and a bit pudgy, but I have learned that my love for food can be used to make myself into a very strong guy. My gym mates call me Grizzly, like the bear. On to the meat of the story. About a week ago, my fiancé told me we will have a baby. I am elated. I have always wanted to be a father, and it seems like life is coming together nicely. She then said that she is planning to take her family for brunch to tell them. Well, on the day of, my work had a bad emergency that required my specialization. My fiancé told me to go and that she would be okay going alone. I shouldn't have gone to work. When I came back from work, my fiancé was crying on the sofa. I sat down with her and asked her what was wrong, and she told me that when she got there, her sister began with her typical behavior. She started talking about her issues and how life is so difficult for her, and between her and her mom, my fiancé was swept aside. Until her little brother, who is 17, said he wanted to hear what my fiancé had to say, and her stepdad agreed. This made her sister get up and storm off to the toilet crying, with her mom close behind her. My fiancé walked in and heard her sister crying about how my fiancé was a selfish witch with no regard for her sister's issues and a bunch of other things, with her mother saying nothing but affirmations. My fiancé walked out, apologized to her stepdad and brother, put some money on the table, and went home. Again, this was at a brunch she planned. As she told me this, I felt nothing but anger in my chest. I comforted my fiancé, and eventually she decided to take a nap, and I told her I was going to go to the shop. But I didn't go to the shop. I texted her stepdad and said I needed to have a chat with everyone. He let me into the house, and I saw my fiancé's mother and sister sitting at the table. I don't mince words. I told them that I was incredibly angry over what occurred. I told her mother that if she continued to be permissive, they wouldn't be at our wedding, and they wouldn't see my fiancé or our child, ever. I then told her sister that having autism doesn't excuse being a rancid person. I said that their next move better be a true apology to my fiancé, told her brother and stepdad that my fiancé is pregnant, and then left. I confessed to my fiancé what I had done, and she is okay with it. Later, she had her happy moment when she got to tell my parents and siblings the great news. To add, her mother has sent her a very nice apology, and her stepdad and brother came by our flat and personally apologized, despite not being bad, and then shared joy with her. However, the sister is not so pleased with this outcome. She sent a scathing text calling me a bear and a high school bully. She said that I was ableist, just another meat-headed gym bro, and that I was like the government of my home country. She said she hopes my sister leaves me as I am clearly like their father. Now I'm thinking, perhaps I should apologize for making that comment about autism, just to smooth things out and end the stress the sister is putting on my poor fiancé. The wedding is in a month, and I don't want the stress to harm her or our child. And truth be told, I can come off very harsh and a bit intimidating and abrasive due to my accent and size. I guess this is also a bit of a vent as well, so I am sorry for the rambling. So, am I the jerk? Now, for a few comments before the update, comment 1, not the idiot, hell no. So on top of being an attention seeker, spoiled, bully, uninteresting person, her sister is also xenophobic? Good job standing up for your fiancé. Continue using your 2 pillars of leverage, the family's first grandbaby and your size, to your full advantage in ensuring your fiancé receives her parents' full, undivided support. Comment 2. Absolutely not the jerk. As someone with high-functioning autism myself, that absolutely does not excuse her completely taking away from your fiancé's announcement, and it especially doesn't excuse her throwing insults at you. I hope she is able to mature and be a better person. Now, for the update. The day after I confronted my fiancé's family, she called me while I was at work. I thought everything would be great since she was feeling better after I talked to her family. Nope, not at all. She told me about her sister's outburst at brunch, how it left her feeling really down, and how her sister sent her a text, calling her a bad sister for not prioritizing her feelings. It was like everything went wrong all of a sudden. I could feel the anxiety creeping in, and I knew I'd have to do something to ease the situation. I reached out to my fiancé's mom for advice on how to deal with her sister. Honestly, I was super stressed and needed help. Her mom suggested a family dinner to promote healing and understanding. Sounds easy enough, right? Yeah, right. It was like planning a military operation. I helped organize a dinner at a local Italian restaurant with my fiancé's family. I swear, if I had to say fettuccine Alfredo one more time, I was going to lose it. The day of the dinner, I arrived early to help set up the reserved area. I just wanted everything to go smoothly. My fiancé showed up, looking hopeful about the whole thing. At that moment, I just wanted to see her smile, you know? But as family members started arriving, the atmosphere was super tense. Everyone was polite, but you could tell it was a matter of time before things went bad. Then her sister walked in late. You could feel the mood shift instantly. I greeted her warmly, just trying to break the ice. You know, be the bigger person. But she rolled her eyes and muttered something under her breath. Real mature, right? So we all sat down for dinner, and the conversation was just awkward. It's like everyone suddenly forgot how to talk. My fiancé tried to steer the conversation toward lighter topics like the baby, but her sister interrupted. She just had to bring up her feelings about the brunch incident. At this point, I decided it was best to let my fiancé speak first. She expressed her excitement about the pregnancy, but her sister cut her off. Like, come on, can't you see your sister is super happy? That's when her sister accused her of being selfish for trying to overshadow her struggles. I was fuming inside, but I kept my cool. My fiancé's mom suggested that everyone share something they appreciate about each other. I went first, saying that the sister had always been a caring sibling. You would think I handed her $1 million. Her response? Dismissive. She said it was easy for me to say. The dinner went on, but she kept making these snide remarks. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I had to address her directly about her behavior. I told her how her actions hurt everyone at the table, especially her mom. She flipped out, claiming that I was just trying to control everything. Her mom intervened, asking her to apologize to my fiancé and me. You know what her sister said? She refused, saying she wasn't sorry for having feelings. Seriously? After dinner, my fiancé suggested we leave because she wanted to avoid any more drama. I could see she was upset and just wanted to get out of there, so I agreed. Later that night, I got a surprising text from her sister. She said she was moving out of state for a new job opportunity. I was like, what now? I talked to my fiancé about it, and honestly, she seemed relieved but also concerned. The next day, my fiancé's mom called to discuss her sister's decision to leave. We both agreed that we should plan a family gathering before she left for good. Just to say goodbye, you know? We decided to set it for a weekend at my fiancé's mom's house. I prepared myself for whatever might unfold during that gathering, because let's face it, with this family, you never know what you're going to get. Edit. After the family gathering, we had a calm and heartfelt goodbye. My fiancé's sister gave her a genuine apology, which made her cry happy tears. They hugged it out, and her sister said she would visit once in a while. We all had a lovely dinner together, and my fiancé's mom even surprised us with a baby shower invitation for next month. Her sister promised to be there, and we all felt a huge weight lifted off our shoulders. It's a new beginning for everyone. Am I the idiot for trying to cheer up my wife after a false positive pregnancy test and being accused of invalidating her feelings? My wife and I have been trying to have a baby for 2 years now. We have been married for 5 years, and for literally as long as I have known her, she has wanted a baby and has absolutely dreamed about being a mom. We are 29-year-old males and 27-year-old females. Over the past 2 years, we have had 3 miscarriages. 2 were within the first trimester, but the most recent was at 18 weeks, I think. We were both devastated, but this is the most and hardest I have ever seen her cry. She had to get that surgical procedure. I think they call it an evacuation. We waited almost a year before trying again after that, but she really wanted to. I want kids too, so after a long heart-to-heart, we said we would try again. So this month, I heard her in the bathroom and she shouted that she was taking a test. I said, okay, and she brought the test to our bedroom to wait the few minutes. When she turned it over, she gasped and started crying and smiling, so I assumed it was positive. I hugged her and kissed her and took the test to look at it, but to me, it looked negative. I kept looking at the results and the little diagram trying to see the second line. I literally could not. I did not want to ruin the moment by potentially being a fool, but I was so confused because it was plainly negative. I asked if she had another to take, just in case, and she said no, but I am pregnant. At that point, I was like, honey, are you sure? I do not see a line. She told me, it's right there. You can't see it? There was nothing there. She took a picture of it and was so happy. I did not know what to do, so I was just like, maybe take another? Or the one that plainly says pregnant or not pregnant. She was very annoyed and told me no. She was going to the doctor the next day. At that point, I gaslighted myself into believing it was positive as well, until she got home from the doctor the next day. I was at work, so I could not go with her, but I saw her location on my way home. I was surprised she did not call or text, and when I walked in, she was on the couch, absolutely sobbing. She told me the doctor said she isn't pregnant and never was. They told her it may have been a false positive. She was obsessively saying that she had another miscarriage. I tried to calm her down, but she just wasn't listening. She was sobbing about losing another baby and the doctor having no idea what she is doing. At that point, I was like, honey, are you sure? You love this doctor and have had her for years. She would know if you had been pregnant. My wife was like, no, she's wrong. I was. I asked her if she had any bleeding like before. She said no. I asked her if she had any other symptoms like before, and she said no. So then I was like, do you think maybe we looked at the test wrong? She was so adamant that it was positive. Eventually I said, honey, I am so sorry, but it just wasn't. I thought she would take not pregnant better than a miscarriage, but I was so wrong. I tried to grab her phone to show her the picture she took, but she would not even look at it. She just kept saying, I was pregnant. I felt horrible for trying to point it out to her, and she was incredibly upset. She kept saying that I was invalidating her, but I was not trying to. I was trying to help her understand that she did not have a miscarriage. She just read a test wrong. She has been simultaneously sobbing and furious for a week. I won her over a little bit with a good apology and her favorite dinner and dessert, but she still refuses to talk about it or about kids in general. Now for an update. Am I the jerk for what I did? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. She needs psychiatric help. Also read this. Update. Wife, 38-year-old, is convinced that she is pregnant even though every pregnancy test, store-bought and medical, comes back negative. It's taking a toll on our marriage because she thinks I am going to abandon her and our twins. r/relationship advice, reddit.com. Comment 2. Get her some medical help. She needs a therapist specializing in infertility. For us women, when we want a baby, it's not just a want. It encompasses our entire being, and it's as strong a need as it is for eating or breathing. These feelings can be incredibly intense, especially if dealing with infertility. Talking through all these feelings with the therapist helps, and your wife needs help as soon as possible. Now, for the update. A few days after my wife and I had that rough patch, we had a dinner reservation at a local Italian place to celebrate our anniversary. It was a nice spot, the kind of place where the waiters still wear ties and the breadsticks are unlimited. We started the night off well, sharing a bottle of Chianti and reminiscing about past anniversaries. It was good to see her smile at those memories. We were halfway through dinner when I brought up trying again for a baby. I thought maybe a nice dinner would lighten her mood and get her to talk about it. Well, that's when things went south. She just went quiet, and I could feel the tension. I tried to lighten the mood, joking about baby names, but she didn't even respond. It was like talking to a wall. After dinner, we walked to the car, and she suddenly stopped. her face tense. She confronted me about how I keep bringing up the idea of children when she clearly didn't want to discuss it. I tried to explain that I thought it might help her feel better, but she said it was a constant reminder of our struggles. The drive home was silent, and not the comfortable kind of quiet. No music, no conversation, just silence. It felt heavy, like something was weighing me down. Once we got home, she went straight to the bedroom, leaving me in the living room all alone. The next day, I decided to buy her a small gift, something to show that I was thinking of her. I chose a delicate bracelet, hoping it would lift her spirits. When I gave her the gift, she was visibly upset and threw the bracelet onto the couch. She yelled that gifts wouldn't fix our problems and that I needed to understand her pain. Feeling rejected, I took a step back and suggested we talk about what she needed. She mentioned wanting space to grieve without feeling pressured about starting a family. A week later, I went to a family dinner at my parents' house, hoping to escape the tension at home. My parents asked about my wife and how she was doing, expressing concern over her recent emotional state. I felt uncomfortable discussing our struggles, so I kept it vague, saying she just needed time. My younger sister, who was pregnant, shared stories about her experience, which made me uneasy. Then the family dinner turned into a surprise baby shower for my sister, just what I needed. During the event, my wife texted me that she felt alone and wished she had come with me. So I decided to leave the dinner early, feeling guilty for not supporting her. When I got home, I found her curled up on the couch, staring blankly at the TV. I sat beside her and tried to talk about our day, but she was distant. The next morning, I overheard a discussion on the news about a local couple who experienced a similar loss. I decided to reach out to them, thinking it might help my wife connect with someone who understood. I messaged them online, explaining our situation and wanting to know if they'd be open to chatting. She found out about the message and reacted angrily, accusing me of overstepping boundaries. She stormed out of the room, leaving me alone with my thoughts. A couple of days later, the couple I reached out to replied positively, inviting us to a coffee meetup. I mentioned it to my wife, but she flatly refused, saying she didn't want to talk about it. So I decided to attend the coffee meeting alone, hoping to gain some insight into how to help her. The meetup went well. The other couple shared their experiences and coping strategies. I returned home with new ideas on how to approach conversations without pressuring my wife. I tried implementing some suggestions, but she remained distant and unresponsive. Days passed, and our communication continued to feel strained. I decided to give her space while also seeking out my own support systems like hobbies and friends. Am I the idiot for calling out my girlfriend's self-made lie after I supported her through grad school? I sincerely believe my girlfriend, a 30-year-old woman, is a hardworking and intelligent person who absolutely deserves the success she has achieved in her life. We have been together for 6 years. When I first met her, she wasn't struggling or anything like that, but she was working in a job that she hated. Around the time I met her, she wanted to go back to school to get her master's degree, but was struggling with the decision because she was worried about taking on more student debt. To keep a long story short, once our relationship got serious enough, I offered to move her in with me at no cost to her until she was able to complete her master's degree and land a job. We were able to make it work, and she landed what she considers a dream job shortly after graduating. That was about a year ago. A couple of days ago, she decided to make a long-winded social media post about how proud she is of herself for how far she has come so far in life. For the most part, it was just harmless fluff. But one part of her post that rubbed me the wrong way was where she threw in a few sentences about how she was a self-made woman who, despite all struggles, managed to provide everything for herself, and that she's proud that she doesn't need to rely on a man. Not only were these statements factually incorrect, but it felt like a slap in the face that she wanted to speak about her life without acknowledging me or my contributions to her life at all. While she studied to improve her life, I provided her with a place to live and food on the table so she wouldn't have to worry about it. Although she did work as a teaching assistant while studying, I encouraged her to use it as her fun money and for additional expenses. Although my expenses didn't increase dramatically by moving her in, we didn't move somewhere bigger or more expensive. I still made sacrifices on my end so that she could put herself through school as comfortably as possible. I commented directly on the post. Did you forget about the boyfriend who paid the bills while you did your master's degree? Am I chopped liver? As I expected, I got absolutely slammed with replies and direct messages calling me every insult in the book. She herself was livid at the comment and called me a jerk, among other things, for posting it, telling me that it was completely unnecessary and demanded an apology. I refused to apologize, but told her that I would retract the comment if she edited her post to at least get rid of the "I don't need no man" stuff that I felt was unnecessary. After arguing a bit back and forth, she packed a bag and went to stay with a friend because she needed some space. I'm conflicted about what to think about this situation myself. I know this is just social media, and I admit that I did write that comment as a knee-jerk reaction, but I'm also bothered that she decided to react this way instead of having a mature conversation about this. So, am I the jerk? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the jerk. Get out while you still can and consider it a lesson learned. She does not appreciate you and is more worried about public opinion than you. Furthermore, why does everyone seem to be okay with her lying publicly, but not him correcting her publicly? Why is it okay for her, but not him? Comment 2. Not the jerk. Paying the bills for yourself and another adult isn't easy and can be draining. If my wife, who I have supported for extended periods of time, said she did everything herself and didn't rely on a man for anything, I would be really upset. Now for the update. The day after the argument, I get a text from Olivia saying she needs more time apart. Not gonna lie, my heart sank. I thought we might be able to talk this out over time, but nope. So I spent the day trying to focus on work, but honestly just kept checking my phone like a total loser, hoping for a miracle message. Nothing. Zilch. Just me and my spiraling thoughts. I even tried calling her, but only got her voicemail. I started thinking maybe she changed her number or something. I know, dramatic, right? But seriously. So I texted her again, asking if we could talk, but nope, crickets. Then I saw this social media post from her celebrating a promotion at work. My stomach dropped. The post had a picture of her with new colleagues at some trendy restaurant, probably the kind of place I could never afford on my salary. The caption read, "Surrounded by supportive people who lift me up." That stung. I mean, it really stung. After a week, the silence was unbearable. I felt this huge gap between us. I went to a family gathering at my parents' house for my dad's birthday. My mom asked about Olivia, expressing concern over our communication. I just shrugged it off, telling her that I didn't know what was going on. During dinner, the topic of relationships came up. My brother Jake started talking about how supportive Rachel has been during her pregnancy. My dad jumped in with stories about how he supported my mom when they were younger. I mean, I love my parents and my brother, but can we not right now? After dinner, I went to the backyard for some fresh air. I didn't know what to do, so I decided to take a different approach. I Googled some stuff about relationship communication. Yeah, I know, not the most manly thing to do, but here we are. I found this article that suggested expressing feelings through a letter. Seemed like a good idea, so I wrote her a letter explaining everything. I felt good about it. I delivered the letter to her apartment, but she wasn't home, so I slipped it under her door, feeling all hopeful and stuff. A few days later, I got a text from her saying she needed to talk. Finally, we agreed to meet at a coffee shop the next afternoon. When Olivia showed up, she seemed so distant and barely made eye contact. I mean, wow, the walls were up. We started talking about the letter, but she was so defensive. She reiterated her stance, and I was just like, okay, I get it. But then I brought up her social media posts, and boy, did things escalate. She accused me of trying to take credit for her success again. I mean, seriously? We both started raising our voices, drawing attention from other people. I could feel everyone staring. It was embarrassing. She just stormed out of the coffee shop, leaving me feeling totally defeated. I sat there for a bit, trying to regain my composure. After that, I decided to focus on myself and my own goals. I started working out regularly and dedicated time to personal projects. I needed that. It felt good to take care of myself for a change. A month later, I got an invitation to Jake's baby shower. I went, even though I was feeling kind of uneasy about the whole thing. While I was there, I overheard Olivia talking to Rachel. She mentioned how she's been thinking a lot about her independence. That hit hard, not gonna lie. I decided to leave early because I just couldn't deal with it. The next day, I posted a photo of myself at the baby shower on social media. Just a happy picture, you know? But instead of reaching out, she unfollowed me. I felt this wave of realization. The distance between us had grown significantly, and it felt like a huge gap now. I mean, I expected her to reach out after seeing the post, but nope, just an unfollow. So yeah, now I'm planning a solo trip to focus on my own journey. I need to figure out who I am without all this drama. Edit. Olivia and I had no mutual friends on social media. My comment on her post was visible to her friends, but not mine. She didn't bring up the post during our meeting. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.